There are 3 pickup trucks sitting on dealer lots right now that most people scroll past without even clicking the listing. Salesmen barely mention them. You won't see TikTok edits about them. And yet, every mechanic I know either owns one, is hunting for one, or recommends one to their family. These are not cheap because they're bad. They're cheap because of identity. They don't fit the image of what people think a real truck should be. And that single psychological bias is costing buyers thousands of dollars. I've watched people pay $35,000 for worn-out Tacomas with 120,000 miles. While these 3 trucks sit 10 feet away on the same lot for 10 grand less, with half the mileage, better reliability, and lower repair costs. The market isn't rational, it's emotional, and if you understand that, you can buy smarter than 90% of truck shoppers. Today, I'm breaking down the 3 most ignored pickup trucks in America. Not the flashiest, not the most aggressive looking, but the ones that quietly rack up 200,000 to 300,000 miles, while their owners barely visit the shop. And number 1 is the truck I recommend more than any other, even though almost everyone argues with me about it at first. Let's start with number 3. This one is so overlooked that most people don't even realize it exists. The Hyundai Santa Cruz. That when people first see it, they don't even classify it as a truck. They call it a crossover with a bed, a lifestyle vehicle, a fake pickup, which is exactly why it's selling for thousands less than it should. I had a client last year who manages rental properties. Not a truck enthusiast, just needed something to haul supplies, run to job sites, and still be comfortable enough for daily driving. He came in obsessed with a Tacoma, mid-mileage, mid-trim, mid-everything, and the price was pushing $30,000. I showed him a Santa Cruz with half the mileage, turbo engine, all-wheel drive, and a better interior for nearly $6,000 less. He laughed at first, then he drove it. 8 months. Later, he hasn't spent a single dollar on repairs, not one. And now he recommends it to everyone else in his company. Here's the part people miss. The Santa Cruz isn't built like a traditional pickup, because most people don't actually use pickups like traditional pickups. 90% of truck owners never tow more than 3,000 pounds, never load more than 1,000 pounds, never go off-road, and spend most of their time commuting for that lifestyle. The Santa Cruz is actually better than a Tacoma. It rides smoother, it gets better fuel economy, it has a nicer interior, and it costs dramatically less. The base engine is simple, naturally aspirated, and extremely reliable. The turbo version gives you more power than a V6 Tacoma, and a lighter body, and because it shares its platform with one of Hyundai's most reliable crossovers, parts are cheap and widely available. Brakes cost less. Suspension costs less. Oil changes are easier. It's not that the Santa Cruz is underrated. It's that truck culture hasn't emotionally accepted it yet. And markets always lagged behind reality. Which brings us to number 2, the Nissan Frontier. This one might be the single most disrespected, reliable truck in America. It has one of the lowest repair rates in its entire segment, lower than Tacoma, lower than Ranger, lower than Colorado, and yet it depreciates like it committed a crime. I see these come into shops with 180,000 miles, still on the original drivetrain, still shifting smoothly, still running quietly. The V6 engine Nissan used in this truck is one of the longest-running engine families in automotive history. No turbo, no hybrid systems, no complex electronics, just simple, proven engineering, refined over decades. The automatic transmission is old school, torque converter-based, and almost impossible to kill if serviced properly. And yet, you can buy a used Frontier for $10,000 to $12,000 less than a Tacoma with the same mileage. That gap has nothing to do with reliability. It's pure brand. Psychology.Toyota has convinced people they're buying peace of mind. Nissan never marketed the Frontier as an emotional product, so it became invisible. And invisible products always become the best deals. If you care about resale value, the Frontier isn't for you. If you care about low maintenance, long lifespan, and not throwing money into depreciation, it's one of the smartest trucks on the road. Now we get to number 1, the one everyone argues with me about, the one people mock, the one mechanics quietly love, the Honda Ridgeline. This truck triggers identity issues in traditional truck buyers. They say it's not a real truck. They say it's just an SUV with a bed. They say it's too soft, and they're accidentally explaining why it's so good. The Ridgeline is built on the same engineering philosophy as the Honda Pilot and Acura MDX, which means it's designed for high mileage, it's built for real-world driving, and it prioritizes comfort and reliability over marketing aesthetics to V6. Engine in this truck comes from one of the most proven engine families in history. Not one generation, not one model. 25 years of refinement. The transmission is conventional. No CVT, no dual clutch, no weird experimental tech. Just simple mechanical systems that Honda has perfected for decades. And then there's the bed. Flat floor, no wheel well intrusions. Lockable waterproof trunk built into the floor. Dual action tailgate. It's the most usable bed design in the entire segment. Not the biggest, not the toughest, but the most intelligently designed. This is the truck for people who drive long distances, commute daily, carry gear, occasionally want zero-drama ownership. It rides smoother than any midsize truck. It's quieter than any midsize truck. And its maintenance costs are consistently lower than its competitors. The only real downside? It doesn't look tough enough for people who buy trucks as part of their personality. Which is why it's faster, and depreciation is exactly what creates opportunity. You can buy a Ridgeline for under $25,000 that will realistically run another 10 years with basic maintenance. That's not marketing talk. That's mechanical reality. So here's the pattern. All three of these trucks suffer from the same problem. They don't fit the cultural fantasy of what a pickup is supposed to be. They don't look aggressive enough. They don't have the right badge. They don't signal the right identity. But mechanically, they're some of the smartest vehicles you can own. The Santa Cruz is for people who want modern comfort at old prices. The Frontier is for people who want simple reliability without paying a brand tax. The Ridgeline is for people who want the lowest total cost of ownership in the segment, and all three are sitting on dealer lots right now, quietly losing value while everyone else fights over overpriced. Tacomas, that's how markets work. The loud products get attention, the smart products get ignored, and the ignored ones become the best investments. If you buy vehicles emotionally, you'll always overpay. If you buy them mechanically, you'll always win. And that's the difference between people who post truck photos and people who quietly drive the same one for 250,000 miles. If this kind of breakdown helps you think differently about cars, hit subscribe. I'm not here to sell you brands. I'm here to save you from wasting money. Because dealerships don't make money off smart buyers. They make money off emotional ones. And now you know the difference.